Good evening, Patriots. Welcome to the Ryan Samuel Show. We are here. We are live. There's some craziness going on in the world. There's a ton of stories. I'm trying to get as many stories out to you as I can. But today we're going to focus on one particular story because it's absolute nonsense and it's ludicrous that this has even occurred. Gavin Newsom came out and gave a speech today full of the most ridiculous and insane lies I have ever seen a politician give. He has a history of this. His entire governorship has been filled with scandal. We're going to cover all of that today. But the first thing we're going to talk about, the thing we're really going to focus on is this speech. This speech really takes the cake for just political, absurd nonsense. You don't get much worse than this speech, and you're going to find out why in just a second here. Okay? Here is Gavin Newsom. He released this today on X in a panic and is trying to blame the legitimate investigation that's going on into his wife's finances as some sort of retribution for Donald Trump. Here.
In recent days, federal agents have knocked on the doors of family, friends, and former employees. Not because they found a crime, because they're simply trying to find one. They're demanding records. They're abusing the grand jury process, digging through years and years of random documents. Donald Trump isn't just coming after me because of my mean tweets. He's coming after me because I'm considering running for president.
Wrong. That's wrong. We all know Gavin Newsom is running for president. That's a fact. There's no legitimate person who doesn't believe that he is. He tried to run while Biden was pushing Biden out. He tried to push his way in because he knew Kamala Harris wasn't worth a lick of salt. I mean, we all know that. But it is false that Donald Trump is going after him because he's running for president. What does Donald Trump care? Donald Trump's out of office. He's not running for re-election, despite his little humors about he's going to run for his third term. He's just messing with people. He's not. I do not anticipate that Donald Trump will be running for another term. Therefore, what does he care if Gavin Newsom runs? He's just going to destroy him anyway, verbally. So Gavin Newsom is laying the groundwork to cover himself for the possibly criminal things him and his wife have done with campaign finances. That's what's happening. Let's listen more.
Because he hates that I've consistently called him out over and over again for his lies and deceit. Donald Trump is simply the most corrupt president in American history. He's turned the levers of government into his own personal power ministries to reward cronies and to try to jail his opponents. His personal attorney now runs the Department of Justice, which
to jail his political opponents, like the left did and tried to jail him. So the argument that Gavin Newsom is making here is, hey, what Donald Trump is doing is ridiculous because he's trying to jail his political opponents. If anybody's going to jail political opponents, it's the Democrats, and he's stepping on our toes. The Democrats are the ones who jail political opponents. America, this is my campaign speech. The 34 felony counts that are just completely insane. Quit stepping on their toes, Donald Trump.
Has repeatedly gone after his political enemies. Ask Jerome Powell. Sent them after James Comey, Trish James, Adam Schiff. He sent them after Tim Walz, and a woman that a jury found Donald Trump had sexually abused. One by one, anyone who has challenged Donald Trump has ended up on his hit list. And today, I proudly join that list. After calling for my arrest last year, Donald Trump directed his Department of Justice to investigate me.
That's untrue. That's untrue. Federal agents have contacted friends, associates, former employees, and others in Newsom's direct circle. Okay. They've requested records. Of course they have, and interviews. There are at least 2 active federal investigations out of the Sacramento U.S. Attorney's Office. One on Jennifer Siebel Newsom's taxes and finances and for her nonprofits, which are, hold on, I have it here, the Representation Project and California Partners Project. Another is tied to prior staff fraud, Dana Williamson, who pleaded guilty in May of 2026. No charges have been filed between Newsom and his wife. The hit list language is just pure partisan rhetoric. The underlying inquiries are real, they are legitimate, but they did not magically appear as Trump revenge. These started locally from whistleblowers over a year ago. Newsom is framing standard accountability as prosecution. To say that Donald Trump dictated his Department of Justice to go after him is just, it's untrue. In 2025, this is when these investigations initially started. And they were not initially started or directed from Washington at all. There is zero evidence to suggest that. Now, recently, it's escalated. Maybe they've been digging into it and have found a lot more. But there's nobody who said that this is a top-down order from Trump. Nobody. Nobody has come forward. Nobody in the liberal district of Sacramento, California, in the liberal state of California, no member of the federal U.S. Attorney's Office has come out and said that this is directed by Donald Trump. Nobody. Not a single one. There is no evidence to suggest that this is what is happening. But maybe there's something to this, and Gavin Newsom is twisting what is happening to protect himself. It's a brilliant political move. Hey, we could really get in trouble for what we did with our taxes. So I need to come out and make this out to be a political persecution. I need to come out here and I need to scream at the top of my lungs that I am a victim of Trump's Nazi rule because he doesn't like what I have to say. And I'm standing up for you, America. I'm standing up against a tyrannical government because Donald Trump is unhinged and out of control. Not because there have been people actually convicted of crimes when it comes to his wife's campaign finance reform. Has nothing to do with that. Not for any other reason. It's just Donald Trump unhinged. Let's watch some more.
And just in the last week, I've learned that his campaign has reached my own home. To get me, he's coming after my wife, Jen, a public servant, a woman who's dedicated her life to supporting women and girls, someone who has done nothing wrong other than having the temerity to advocate for what she believes in. If they can't intimidate me, they'll go after the mother of our children.
Or the one who's responsible for the thing that's under investigation because it was done through her nonprofit. Gavin. God, Gavin. I feel like you're just like the ugly stepchild to have to yell at all of the time, Gavin. You're delusional. There's something going on in your mind that's not true.
Donald Trump picked the wrong target.
Oh, you're so tough. Tell me how tough you are.
We have nothing to hide. His political operatives can take every record and read every page, but they'll be looking in the wrong place.
Standard denial. Investigators are reviewing records for potential improper tax treatment, compensation, or related party transaction in the non-province. This is through public IRS filings that already exist and have been scrutinized. If this is true, if you have done nothing wrong, Gavin, then transparency should be easy. The investigations are there to verify claims, your claim, not to harass.
Because if they really want to find corruption, look no further than 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Donald Trump is selling the presidency. He's running the largest cash heist in American political history, trading foreign tariff relief for approval of his golf courses, day trading behind the Resolute desk, reaping hundreds of millions of dollars in personal profit. And he's doing it openly. He's doing it on camera. He did it last night on the White House lawn.
I don't think he was openly trading stocks on the White House lawn at the UFC event. This is standard just political theater. The country is watching California's failures and these probes. Evidence, not drama, will decide this outcome. The investigations into Gavin Newsom's circle are real and predated the recent escalation. It's rooted in legitimate whistleblower complaints, not a directive from the President of the United States. Newsom's hit list narrative is political spin on accountability. There are no charges yet, but we're going to follow the evidence. Let's listen to this video.
He's doing it through cryptocurrencies. He's doing it through the receipt of a $400 million private jet from a foreign government that he plans to keep when he leaves office. Through his son's ventures in countries where his own administration is simultaneously making policy. His personal fortune has skyrocketed by $4 billion since making his return to office. This is the behavior of a regime, not a republic. The White House has become a marketplace for sneakers and coins and watches, cologne, guitars, Bibles, and phones. Influence for sale, access for sale. And today, my family and I can personally confirm that justice is for sale. To Donald Trump, who I know is watching because he watches everything, I have a message for you. You can subpoena my records. You can investigate me. You can harass me. Put my name on every and any enemies list you have, but leave my wife and family out.
That's because that's where the guilt is. Complete diversion. Leave my wife out of this, Donald Trump. Do not subpoena my wife's records. Do not subpoena my family's records, because that's where the real evidence is. He's not stupid. He's the governor of California, the former mayor of San Francisco. He's got a clean closet. All his skeletons are out buried in the backyard. That's why his wife and her nonprofits are doing his bidding for him. Do not come after my wife. Leave my wife alone. Come after me, because after all, I'm clean. She may not be. The thing she's doing to protect me may not be. We'll see.
Of your personal vendetta. I'd like to say something to my wife. These times are not normal. They're not ordinary. I love you, and I'm sorry he's doing this. You have not earned a single one of the indignities that he's trying to inflict on you and our children. And to Donald Trump, this country does not belong to you. It does not belong to your cronies. And we're going to fight your lawlessness. And we're going to continue to remind the people of this country of your corruption. That same corruption our founders warned us against as we move to celebrate our 250th anniversary. I'm going to keep reminding Americans of what they warned would happen if a man with no character ever held the office of presidency. So let me say it again. Mr. President, come after me. I'm not going anywhere. And the country is watching.
It's a perfect distraction from what's actually going on, because these knuckleheads, these yahoos, these liberals who don't care about facts, who do not care about any sort of reality whatsoever or the truth, are going to fight for this and support this. That's exactly what they're going to do. We have a caller from Virginia. Let me see here. They just dropped off. I just tried to pull them on. If you want to call back in, 561-786-2916. But the investigation is absolutely real as to what is going on into her. And it was done under the Biden administration, is from the reports from what I'm getting. Okay. The nonprofit, the Representation Project, the mission is challenging limited gender stereotypes through film, media, and education. She serves as the founder and chief creative officer, receives significant funding from corporations, some with state business, lobbying ties to Gavin Newsom, AT&T, blah, 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 blah. She also has the California Partners Project, right, which she co-founded, focuses on increasing women's representation and leadership, government, business, media, techs. Our caller's back. Let's pull our call.
Hello.
Hello, you're on the air.
I was wondering if you noticed how many people are watching your show right now. If you take a look, there's a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah, take a look. There's a bunch. 42 people are watching you, and that's because I went ahead and touched my willy, and I made them all call. So we wanted to say, hello, Ryan Samuels. We love you. The Dumb Show is in the house, motherfucker, and we're excited to be here.
Hell yeah. I appreciate the support. The Dumb Show rocks.
Yeah, Bubba, we got those numbers up. I saw it. I'm like, bullshit. We're gonna start raiding Samuels and helping you out. So we're gonna get you a bunch of follows, and we're gonna do what we can to help you out, man. I hope you're doing well. You look really good, by the way. Sexy as hell.
I love the tie.
Yeah, thanks, man. I figured I would change it up and try to do something. What happened with Facebook?
So last night we raided Handy News, and he was showing the UFC Star Spangled Banner and 1812 Overture, and we got a strike for it, and UFC struck us. So it's a 24-hour temp hold. I'm hoping it might be a little longer, but we didn't get a strike or anything.
I got hit for UFC too, and all I did was play the clip of when he called Michelle Obama a man. But did you fight it? Because I just accepted it.
Yeah, I fought it, but it's on strike, so I don't have to appeal. I can't go live or post videos for 24 hours.
That's so stupid.
Maybe longer. Let me see. Wait a second. Hold on. The ban is lifted. Okay, we're back. So we're good. Yeah, it was 24 hours, so we're good now. Thank God. But dude, I just love the hell out of you, and I appreciate you. You had such a good show with us the other day. I figured we would send our people on over, and we'll continue to do this and help out as much as we can.
Man, I love it. It's awesome. Thank you so much, man. I'm grateful to you and your family. Thank you for welcoming me in your home and having you on and having me on your show. And we've been kind of doing this off and on for a few years now, right?
Yeah, dude. I love your opinions. This version. You seem happy. You seem excited. It was funny. Ryan Weaver was on the other night, and he's kind of in the same spot. He just, he seems to have a mission and a goal, and you're there. You're constantly upgrading your show. You're constantly trying to improve yourself and your message. And dude, I love seeing it. And hopefully it continues, my brother.
It's going to continue. I just downloaded the new software to update so I can bring you on live. And I can get you in video, and we'll collaborate that more,
Awesome.
Be awesome, dude. I'd love that. That's for sure. I'd absolutely love to do that. Maybe we can do a co-op show on Rumble and just, extend our show and do a 7 to 8 and then an 8 to 9 and just broadcast it on both our channels. That way, cross-pollinate. But yeah, man, listen, Rumble, there's a couple tricks that can help out with Rumble. And I've got a few of the owners I have their ear through email, and spotlighting your show is important, and you got to get that at least once a week. And they'll spotlight your show, but you just got to kind of make them aware that you're trying and you're growing, and they'll start paying attention to you. But rating is huge. You've got to raid. It's helped us so much in the last 2 weeks. And there's a guy named TV Green I'm going to put you in touch with. He's in chat right now. He's a great dude. He's a moderator for like 6 other groups and 6 other channels, and it'll help out your show, and we'll try to see what we can do to help you.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much. This is great. I was just talking to my wife the other day. Like my stuff was kind of creeping up a little bit, but for whatever reason, man, I don't know what's going on with Facebook. I got 115,000 followers. I post a reel, I get 300 views, right? I post the same reel on Instagram or Threads, I'll get 10,000 views. It's just, I know, dude. And I got on Threads, I have 60 followers because I've never used it before. So So tell me
Yeah,
how,
dude. Like,
yeah, makes
I don't
no
know.
sense.
I don't know. Like X tonight, we had 151 people watching on X, and I've got 5,000 followers.
Yeah.
On YouTube, we had 70 plus, and I've got like 20,000 followers.
Yeah.
Instagram, we had 7 people watching, and I've got like 40,000 followers. I don't know, dude. I don't know how to explain. But with Facebook at almost 500,000, we should be doing, maybe not Benny numbers, but we should be pushing 400 or 500 at least.
At least,
no.
yeah, PJ Media numbers, yeah, 400 or 500, yeah, for sure. It doesn't make any sense, and it's not supposed to. We're just being throttled. Period. Can't make that argument. There's no argument that they can make that we're not being throttled.
Time out. I fucked up. Is TV a girl? I thought TV Green was a guy. Did I say dude? And they're like, did you transition again? Apparently. Who the fuck is TV? I mean,
who is TV?
Who's TV? What's TV's? We haven't even been introduced. I just assumed you were a guy.
What's TV's real name?
Holy shit, Ryan! I missed the pronoun on a really cool person, and I feel horrible.
Oh boy.
Well, she didn't tell us what female. Didn't tell us what the pronouns are.
Well, okay. Let me try this again. TV Green is going to call you, and is
Tammy.
Tammy, the most amazing woman in the world. But she'll reach out and chat. She's gonna. Hopefully she'll help you too, because Ryan is a good friend and family, and we can start to cross pollinate our traffic, buddy. And I'm sorry I misgendered you. All right, buddy. Anything else, man? Like I said, I think we got you up on your likes. I hope you're doing well, and we will talk shortly, and we'll get you back on the show.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, man. God bless. Thank you. Good night, Olivia.
All right.
Good night, Ryan.
Good night, Ryan. Love you, buddy. Talk to you.
Too. All right. Bye. All right. Well, for those of you that were tuning in, my people, that's Matthew Spear, the host of the Don't Unfriend Me show, and his wife, Olivia. They are awesome, amazing, incredible people. They invited me to their home, and I was there with their studio, and I would think I was one of the first people in it. Maybe not the first one, but it was great. They did a wonderful job. They've built a wonderful business, and they have an amazing family, and they're great people, and I'm proud to call them friends. We have another caller from California. Let's listen to this caller from California. Let's hear what they have to say.
Hey, Ryan.
Hello.
This is Tanja.
How are you?
Okay, so if the dumb show, good. If the dumb show say you cool, then you cool, me too. So I'm over here to support you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I do want to ask. So I'm going to be over here trolling. Now I'm going to ask you this. Did Gavin nonsense, the slick hair, Willie Gruesome, go to prison yet?
No, not yet. And it doesn't even really appear that he may. So the main issue has
He gonna go. I'm waiting.
You think so?
I believe. I'm gonna tell you something. We are experiencing history as we see it. I can't wait. He's been telling on himself. And look, I'm from the Bay Area. I've watched all kind of stuff happen, and he became very arrogant. Okay, and then he'll pay off some bought and paid for boulets, melanated people, okay, to sit here and talk all this mess about how he's the greatest. No, he's not the greatest, okay? He pick and choose who he want. Now, I believe that Gavin Newsom will be locked up, okay? Now if Trump has something to say about it. You know, I jumped on that Trump train damn near 3 years ago.
Good for you.
Okay, because I'm seeing how Trump sat there, almost made my ass rich on his first term when California was trying to make people stay on welfare. See, they want to make sure we don't have nothing, but the illegals can have whatever the hell they want.
That's
and
right.
that was unacceptable. So no, I want Gavin Newsom, slickhead Willie. I want him exposed for everything. They even got videos of him over in Thailand playing basketball with the boys, or when he fell on one of the kids, or he actually fell down, he brought one of the kids down, he started rubbing that kid. I'm telling y'all better watch. He's a weirdo.
Yeah, I believe he's a
I'm
weirdo.
telling y'all. So I'm just saying
Yeah, he definitely is a weirdo. The thing with this speech today is it's actually it's a masterful spin on the reality of the situation that's going on. The DOJ, or the federal attorney in Sacramento, started looking into his wife's years ago, before Donald Trump was even in office. And now what we're seeing is him turn this into this political, this beautiful political spin. It's completely wrong. It's completely unjust. But if I'm analyzing it from a geopolitical position, it's very smart, because 50% of the population isn't even going to question it. It's an opportunity to bash Trump and go after Trump. And I don't think that too much of it's going to come out of it, besides maybe his wife and former employees, as it is. But he's had scandals in the past. You know, Newsom.
Well, let me tell you, he's been a scandal. He's a scandaler. He's the king of scandals. So no, here's the thing, and I'm starting to see patterns and patterns. I don't think people are going to be fooled this time. And I'm going to tell you, I had a dream about Gavin. All right, Gavin had to do at least 28 years in prison. All right, he came out as a bum. He's trying to get back at some black folks to see if he can get them to get them back into something. And his wife gonna be gone. She gonna do at least 2 to 3 years in prison, and they gonna let her out. She gonna disappear. She ain't gonna be around Gavin or saying, "Honey, I love you," none of that stuff. What is given is he's trying to act like he's Donald Trump. He has not. He's obsessed with Donald Trump. He wants to be like Donald Trump. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
This man wants to go to. He wants his wife to be the victim because Melania was the victim. He wants to be, but what he's doing, he's messing up, because he's getting on here, letting everybody know I'm gonna be treated like Trump, y'all. So y'all can mess with me if you want to. Just leave my wife alone, please. Knowing damn well that all this is fake as hell. They all crooks. Every single the Gruesomes is crooks. Nasty Pelosi is crooks. They all are. And her name is Nasty Pelosi. Let's just understand that. All right? Everything about that woman is nasty. All right? So, but that's all I want to say. We going to have fun going after all these Californians, honey. These little crooked-ass Californians, these little crooked-ass people. Tell Jasmine Cricket Cracker to shut the hell up. She ain't from California. She ain't even from Texas. But I digress. I'm going to troll, and I'm going to have a good time while I'm working on my company. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate the support. Thanks for coming over, and I look forward to talking to you.
One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing. It's only 13 likes I see. I need 40 more likes up on here. Everybody get the likes up, everybody. No lazy fingers. No lazy fingers.
Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Let's get it going.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you later. I'm for the troll now. I'm in the back. I'm going to hang up now. Bye, the dumb show. Matt is the coolest. Matt and his beautiful wife. They're coolest.
They're awesome.
Okay. Awesome. All right. You can get on.
All right. Bye. All right, so we're rolling here. Thanks, dummies, for coming over and checking this out. Gavin Newsom has had a couple of scandals in his career. The biggest one was when he was the mayor of San Francisco, and he decided to have an affair with one of his good friend's wives. Now, that should tell you something about somebody's character. I'm not sitting here and saying that makes him a bad politician, or that makes him evil, although you could make that argument, or that it necessarily makes him a criminal. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it takes a special kind of character to sleep with, not only cheat on your wife, that's something separate, right? It takes a certain character to cheat on your wife, but also to cheat on your wife and sleep with your friend's wife, not just an acquaintance, but your best friend who works on your campaign, is serious business. Here is a clip of him coming out, admitting it, and apologizing for it.
Thank you all for coming here on short notice. Want to make it clear that everything you've heard and read is true. And I am deeply sorry about that. I've hurt someone I care deeply about, Alex Turk, his friends and family. And that is something that I have to live with, and something that I am deeply sorry for. I am also sorry that I've let the people of San Francisco down. They expect a lot of their mayor, and my personal lapse of judgment aside, I am committed to restoring their trust and confidence, and will work very hard in the upcoming months to make sure that the business of running the city is framed appropriately. I also want to extend a personal apology to everyone in our administration, to my staff that I just met with, to my friends and my family members. I am deeply sorry.
Do you believe he's actually sorry? I don't believe he's actually sorry. I think he's full of crap.
Very, very vividly. In recent days, federal agents since February.
I think he's full of crap. I think he's sorry because he got caught. And then he still got elected for governor. This guy's total ambition in life is to be president of the United States. Total ambition in life is to be president of the United States of America without equivocation. And I think of the Democratic Party, he's probably one of the best options. He's a very skilled politician. Make no mistake about it. Like, that speech is brilliant. What he did is brilliant. It's totally wrong, but he did two things. Number one, he protected his wife. He protected the investigation that's going into his wife. That's number one. Number two, he now has a national microphone that he can scream into every time he doesn't like, any time he's criticized by the Republican Party. He can now stand there and scream out, this is political persecution. This is exactly what we warned America about. We told you he was going to do this. The country elected him anyway. He's stealing elections. He's reversing racial gerrymandering. He's doing everything we told you he was going to do. And now Gavin Newsom gets to stand there and say all of this stuff. And the little minions, the little lockstep little troll creatures are going to be all over Facebook, pushing the agenda. CNN, MSNBC, they're going to be asking questions. The View is going to be talking about it, although J.D. Vance was on The View today, and it was a masterful piece by J.D. Vance. He did a really, really good job on The View this morning. But when it comes to, here's a post Gavin Newsom posted today about J.D. Vance on The View as we talk about it. I swear the algorithm listens to our phones. He posted this. Let me get this over. J.D. Vance can't even defend Trump's economy with a straight face. Maybe that's because Americans are getting crushed by it. Gas, groceries, inflation all up. Inflation's down. It's about 3.5%. Should be about 2.5%. Still a little high, but under Biden it was about 9%. These clowns are in over their heads. Here's what he posted.
He just said he loves the inflation.
What he said, Anna, what he said is that he loves the fact that the inflation is going to come down when this war is over. That's what he said.
That's not what he said. That wasn't a direct. Are you his interpreter or are you his vice president?
He didn't. I mean, he did a really good job on The View. I was kind of planning on covering that tomorrow, but let's look at it. Let's do J.D. Vance. But the economy is not horrible, right? It is really not horrible. It's gas prices are high because of the war, right? Because of the conflict in Iran. Here is J.D. Vance defending against Whoopi. Whoopi's coming after him, and obviously everything is racial, right? Because they're leftists and they're nut jobs.
And you were talking about people. What did black people do to this administration that has allowed it to really stigmatize folks of color? And you know how hard it is. You have folks of color in your family.
Sure.
So when you see, things, the Emmett Till stuff coming down, or them doing all kinds of removal of information of black heroes, How does that sit with you?
Well, what exactly are you talking about, Whoopi? Because you just I know Emmett Till was the kid.
So he has a process. Here's what J.D. Vance does. And J.D. Vance is a very skilled politician too. Very, very skilled. The first thing he does when somebody makes an argument to him is he says, stop. Every time you'll see him do this. Stop. I want to confirm what your argument is, and I want to confirm what your question is that you're asking me, because he's locking them in to their commitment of whatever it is, right? Whether they're saying he's racist, or he wrote this line in his book, or he voted this way on this bill. So just hold on before we go any further. So I just want to understand what you're asking. He always does this. He locks them in, and they are now, whatever they say, they are now committed to say it. Because they can't go back and say, that's not what I meant, or I didn't say that right, I didn't express that the right or proper way. What I did was lock them in. So now that's it. No, because I verified with you before you asked me that question. So let's watch. Let's continue to watch.
No, I want to know what she's.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Your actual point.
So in a lot of the museums, there's so many.
So anytime, and he's got her by just asking her to reiterate her question. He'd not even reiterate your question. He's got her by saying, hey, I'm just trying to understand exactly what your question is. And she can't even do that because that's how factually baseless her argument is.
So in a lot of the museums, there's so many. Where they're taking down the actual history that happened in this country. Slavery happened.
Taking down history, you mean like Confederate statues? Confederate parks, Confederate memorials, American citizens that the North waged war on, which is the definition of treason under the Founding Fathers, by the way, shall not wage war on them, meaning the states, not the people. That's a show for another day. Erasing history like critical race theory, rewriting textbooks, or creating your own history and narratives like the George Floyd narrative or even the Rosa Parks narrative. Turns out that whole thing was staged. Didn't mean that there weren't problems in the Deep South. I don't think anybody with a right mind would make the argument that, that there weren't deep problems. Like that, Whoopi? Is that what you mean? And just look at his face. J.D. Vance is genuinely confused and concerned about her question. This is a guy who actually does national debates. He's been a senator, Yale Law School, former Marine, combat camera guy. That's okay. We love him anyway. But he's sad. J.D. Vance in this image here is sad. He was like, I thought this was going to be a tough question. I was really prepared today to just give you guys really strong answers.
All kinds of stuff happened, and it seems that it has been very easy for this administration to remove that and also to denigrate black folks who have worked their behinds off to get this American dream. How do you, you know better.
So when the audience claps at The View or any of these shows, they're clapping because there's a giant sign that says applause. Not at actually Whoopi's point here. They're psychologically zoning people in to focus on this show and actually agree with what's being said. Oh, the people there all agree. Everybody agrees. There's not a single person not clapping. She didn't even ask a solid question.
So Sonny, that was actually a very helpful intervention, because I think the story you're talking about is where, allegedly the administration is holding back the appointments of people based on skin color. I've seen the story.
I'm talking about a host of things. I'm talking about Black history.
So here's what he did again. He just did the same thing to her as he did to Whoopi. But he didn't say it directly. Can you reiterate it? He goes, that was a very interesting thing that you said. So the allegation is this, and he's asking her to confirm. So he's lining all of them up just to knock them all down. It's beautiful.
Getting erased from public spaces. Black voter districts are being dismantled. Black leaders are being sidelined from our ranks. Where do Americans of color fit in this vision? Because it doesn't seem like we fit.
I think, Sonny, my view, let me...
Applause signs.
And if I may, since October of last year, there's been something like 6,668 refugees allowed into the country. All but 3 were white South Africans.
So, first of all, I'm very skeptical of that number because we have a lot of different immigration pathways in the United States of America. But let me just address Whoopi's point. Look, first of all, you asked the question, and maybe you don't believe this coming from me, but I think everybody is welcome in our political coalition. Frankly, even if you didn't vote for us, everybody is welcome in our country so long as you're an American citizen with the duties and the legal obligations and rights to be here. But Whoopi, let me just give you an example of this. Okay, so you say that we're anti-minority or anti-black.
No, I didn't say that. I asked. See?
Well, okay, fine. Fair.
Don't start any stuff with me, man. Don't get me in trouble. Don't start no stuff with me. But
I misinterpreted your question, but let me answer your actual question there. What I'm saying, I think, okay, look at Washington, D.C. One of the most democratic and one of the blackest, by a share of population, blackest cities in the United States of America, has seen a radical decrease in violent crimes and sexual assaults and in murders. We have tried to take the crime issue seriously, in part because we believe everybody, whether you're black or white or rich or poor, deserves to live in a safe neighborhood.
Why does the crime? Where does the crime step in? This is not about crime. This is about
women lost their jobs.
Right. This is about
Sonny,
human rights.
What you're saying is we got to do more on the economy.
And black history has been erased from public spaces.
Black history is not erased from public spaces.
Guys, we do have to get to Iran when we get back. There's some very important news to
I'm telling you, we celebrate black history. We celebrate all American history in this administration. You guys might be skeptical.
Wonderful job. He did a wonderful job. I mean, you could say, oh, he didn't really answer Whoopi's question. She didn't really ask one. She just tried to say, oh, well, they're what they're doing.
And as a father,
what they're doing is they're erasing history from I don't know, museums. I don't know. They're doing it in museums. They tried to corner him on immigration.
the lack of clean water, the lack of medical attention, the lack of education. I would urge you as a Christian and as a father to visit those detention centers where the children are being held and make sure that the conditions are up to the values that we hold in this country.
So you guys have thrown a lot at me, and I see we got 30 seconds left here. But let me say, number one,
you're the Vice President. You can go long.
I'd like to pick up on this theme because I think it's really important. We do have to strike a balance, of course, between enforcing our laws. We don't want to dehumanize people. That is the balance that, look, law enforcement, what I'd say about this, law enforcement is always inherently not a very pretty process, especially when you're dealing sometimes with violent people, with people who are resisting arrest. Some of the people that I've been told by the media were completely peaceful, had never violated any laws. You actually look into the record and you find out that those people were actually being violent, or they did have a criminal record. They had a sex trafficking conviction.
Don't have criminal records. So the majority of people that ICE is rounding up and taking out of their homes from their families, they're separating families. They're using children as bait.
But
the majority are not criminals.
But can I respond to that, guys? Let me just say this. Okay. So you talk about the children. Here's what I'd say. Do we know that during the last administration, we had tens of thousands of children who were sex trafficked by the cartels, who were brought into our country in profoundly dangerous and predatory...
I'm going to get flagged if I don't pause it. He's completely right about the Biden administration. That was the worst immigration policy in the history of the country. Now, all of a sudden, they want to attack Trump's policies and his immigration.
Conditions.
Let's talk about this administration.
Let's talk about this administration. I don't want you to bring up Biden and what they did to children. There was, what, 20, 30,000? This is not a fact, by the way. I got to find the actual number. But there were thousands of children that were just missing, that came across the border and nobody knew where they were, where they ended up. They're probably locked in some creep's basement. We just have no idea where they go. Just children roaming across the border, or their parent got picked up and the kids ran away, or whatever scenario you could imagine, or just being trafficked. Whether it's into labor or sexual labor or prostitution or whatever, it's a humanity crisis at the border under Joe Biden.
But here's the point. Unless you enforce the border, you invite that kind of conduct. You think that our immigration policies are inhumane based on the reporting of one person with a political bias. What I'm telling you is that it's inhumane to allow cartels to sex traffic people across our border.
And by the way, hold on, please hold on.
I appreciate that. We're going to get you back, Anna.
We're coming back with more with the vice president, and I've got.
J.D. Vance is running for president. This is what is happening. He is running for president of the United States, and Marco Rubio is his #1 pick for vice president. This is what you're seeing. This is what you're seeing. TV Green says 300,000 missing kids under Biden. Holman has recovered 170,000 of them. Thank you for that statistic. I will fact check that. I appreciate that. But nevertheless, 10,000, 180,000, 200,000, it's way too many. It's way too many. So they also cornered him on him being a critic of Donald Trump. J.D. Vance used to hate Donald Trump. Now he likes Donald Trump. And they ask him that. They try to use that against him. And here he points out. He tells you why.
First of all, it's been well covered that I was a critic of Donald Trump back in 2015 and 2016. Now, obviously, I'm sitting here as the Vice President of the United States in the Trump administration. Well, Joy, a little humility, actually. I think that when you make predictions and those predictions turn out to be false, you got to ask yourself, well, what made me wrong about that? What did I not understand or not appreciate? For example, I said that Donald Trump's economic policies would not lead to wage growth. They did in the first term. That was actually a major, major thing. I said that we couldn't bring back any of those factory jobs because I kind of had given into this idea that those jobs were disappearing. But actually, Donald Trump, you saw a manufacturing boom during that administration. So there's a certain point. Let me just.
Look at Joy's face.
So there's a certain point. Let me just. This question. So there's a certain point where you say, you know, I made predictions about this. I ended up being wrong. Yeah. And in politics and anything, I think it's important to just say, you know what? I got some things wrong, and I was wrong about him. He was. First of all, it's been well covered that
not everybody gets it right. Try to find, because there was more on The View, but The View is just, it's so disgraceful. It's so one-sided. And they just kind of put, you know, one person on there who's maybe a friggin' rhino Republican. And they never have any good points or any factual. Just trying to look this over. What's this one? Critic, yep, critic of Trump. What exactly are you talking about, Whoopi? I love that. But that's exactly what you're seeing. This is J.D. Vance. It's a shadow campaign for President of the United States. They're gearing up, and they're getting ready for 2028. I think J.D. Vance is a wonderful candidate. Very rarely does a vice president win the presidency after the directly after the term that they're vice president for whoever their president was. Typically, historically, I think the midterms have only been won by the sitting president's party once in American history. Because as president or an administration, you have to do things that are not popular. You have to do things that are sometimes push the envelope. Sometimes you're privy, you know, when I worked, I used to have a very high clearance when I was in the military. And there were certain things that you knew that if you didn't know, you could not campaign on, right? If you were president, right? So if I'm running for president of the United States and I sit there and I scream out, we're never going to war with Iran or Mexico, right? We're never going to go to war with Mexico. My opponent wants to go to war with Mexico. That's the most ridiculous and insane thing I ever heard. Mexico is our neighbor. They have issues. They have problems. We want to help them resolve those. We don't want to go to war. And you spend your whole time in all of your campaign fighting and pushing against it, and you get elected as a non-war president. Then you get in and you got to go through a clearing process. Even the President of the United States has to go through a clearing process for his clearance. And then once you start getting a folder, it's called the President's Daily Brief, the PDB, right? Where the intelligence agencies compile risks and analysis, and they hand it to the president every day, and he reviews it. Once you get that, and you realize that the country of Mexico has been colluding with Islamic radicals, and they've smuggled in enough uranium to build a dirty bomb that's going to take out Texas. And we have informants on the ground. We have video evidence. We have all of this intelligence that tells us an attack on Texas is imminent. It's going to happen in the next 24 hours. You have a meeting in the Situation Room with your chief of staff, your all 5 branches of the United States military, and you come up with a series of plans. It's usually 3 or 4 plans. We can drop SEALs in, we can bomb, we can do a ground invasion, we can do X, Y, and Z. The greatest minds and the highest and most powerful people in the country come together with a plan. Then all of a sudden, this new president just bombed Mexico. But he wouldn't have campaigned on that had he known the entire time what they were actually doing. But these things are classified. They're classified to the president or to the people who are running for president that they campaign on. So that's why you see a lot of this with every president who gets in, and then they're all like, well, hey, Mr. President, you campaigned against that. Can you explain why you betrayed the American people? That's why you see that, because they don't have access to the actual intelligence of what is happening. Just like we don't have access to the intelligence of what's really going on in Iran, the deeper story of what's going on in Iran. Which is why you can tell, no new wars, no new wars. And I will argue to my dying day that this is not a war. It's a conflict. Our president bombs countries all of the time. All of the time. Obama did it. Bill Clinton did it. Since the invention of the bomb, Coalfield Hillbilly says, or the CIA use a cartel to perform a coup. Yep. Maybe he was, Craig says, maybe he was MK Ultra into it to legitimize her nasty ass. Don't know. I got to go through all these comments. But that's precisely what you see. You see it all the time. You see it all of the time. They don't know. They're campaigning on what people want. It does not necessarily mean that what the American people want is what's best for the country. And that's what you kind of collectively elect a president of the United States to do, is to make those decisions based on the best intelligence. Now, that's not to say our entire intelligence community isn't completely screwed, because they are. I think some of them are compromised. I think that a lot of them don't have very much interest. I think they're part of the swamp, particularly the CIA. I think the NSA is a little bit better than the CIA. But however, it is what it is, and it's just the system that we are built with. But what you're seeing with J.D. Vance is the beginning of this campaign. Now, he will run in 2028. Who are the contenders? I don't know. I think you're going to see the typical contenders. I think you're going to see Mike Pence try to do something. He was just on, I think, CNN a while ago. Listen, if you're being brought onto CNN to try to run for president of the United States, the independent vote is not as important as it used to be. You know, I think over the past 20 or 30 years, people have gotten more and more radical and more extreme in their beliefs, left and right. You know, I think that the independent voters are still the most important thing in any election. You know, the independent voters or the end of the libertarian vote or end the Green Party vote, or these are the swing voters, right? So I'm going to vote Republican every time. And so are a lot of you. Some of you are going to vote Democrat no matter what. Vote blue no matter who. Vote red until you're dead. That's not who they're campaigning to. They're not campaigning. Like when Donald Trump and J.D. Vance get on the podium, they're not campaigning to Ryan Samuels. J.D. Vance has my vote 100% all in. It's way too early to see if we're going to see him emerge as a major contender or not. I mean, that's what I think the plan is. And I think Rubio is going to be his first pick. I think that we're absolutely going to see that. But they're not campaigning to me. I agree that taxes are out of control. I agree that the Second Amendment is an inherent right, and there should be a national conceal and carry law, which already exists. It's called the Second Amendment to the Constitution. I believe that free speech is absolute, and that there's no such thing as hate speech. I believe in not censoring anybody. Not censoring anybody. I'm against censorship 99%. They already have my votes. My things align with them, even if I don't agree with them on everything. Even if J.D. Vance comes out and says, you know what, I think we need a little bit of gun control on a national level, just a little bit. I'm still going to not vote for him. I'm still going to vote for him over the other guy, or maybe just not vote. But I mean, it's going to be hard to lose my vote, right? And that's, I think of what is it? It's half of the country. It's like 48%. And then the other side, the Democrats, it's like 47%. So they're fighting for the little tiny percent in the middle that's going to swing the election one way or the other. That's who they're campaigning to. That's why they make all these promises. I'm all about bombing Iran. I love it. I think it's great for the United States of America. In fact, I did a show on it yesterday. Talked about it for an hour. And Gavin Newsom's 100% going to make a run. That's what this whole thing about Gavin Newsom. That's what this whole thing is about. He's protecting himself from political scandal so that he can become the next nominee. AOC thinks she's the head of the Democratic Party. I don't think she is. She's a congresswoman. She's not a governor. Typically, you see senators and governors run for the presidency. That's why Byron Donalds is going from Congress to the governor of Florida. AOC and Bernie Sanders, they're too far left. They're too far left. If the Democratic Party does not swing more towards the center, they're going to lose seats forever, especially with the Supreme Court ruling on the gerrymandering, especially on the issues like abortion or gun control. They're not very moderate. They've moved way more to the left since Barack Obama. Barack Obama was the catalyst to this. Barack Obama was the catalyst to this extreme left-wing Democratic Party, because before that you had Bill Clinton. Look back, Bill Clinton wasn't even that bad compared to what we have now in politics. The Rashida Tlaibs, the Ilhan Omars, the Bernie Sanders. There's so much further left than Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was like, hey, we got too many people on welfare, man. We need to handle this. No Coalfield Hillbilly. I don't think she will be a no-go. I think that here's the problem with Gavin Newsom in the Democratic Party. Number one, he's the most polished, the most powerful. He has wonderful skills in campaign raising money. That's a major part of it too. If you can't raise campaign money, you can't run for president. It costs hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars to run for president of the United States. If you do not have the ability to campaign and raise money, you're out. The problem that the Democratic Party has is they don't base it off of this guy is a very skilled politician. He's kind of popular in California. He's got the experience we need. He's got the look. He's got the gift of gab. He can skirt scandals, real scandals, very skillfully. And this is who we need to put as the head of the Democratic Party. He has the ability to hone in, which we saw him do on Sean Ryan's podcast, hone in more towards the center to show the independents that he's not a radical leftist loonies. He's the guy for the Democratic Party to run. He's 100% the guy. If I was a full-blown lefty and I had some rational thinking, I would say Gavin Newsom is going to be our front runner. Let's get Gavin Newsom on the stage. Let's see if we can get him to move more and more towards the center, right? But the Democratic Party in 2026 cannot do that because he's not gay. He's not black. He's not trans. He's not a Hispanic, Latina. He doesn't have like mental retardation, Down syndrome. He doesn't have any of the check box that you have. Hey, Paul, yes, the dummies are coming in and they are here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Pende Joe says he's a radical leftist commie. 100%, man. He's the governor of California. He's got to be. He's got to be. Although we've seen California moving way further to the right. If you get up into Northern California, it's Republican country. Where the farms are and the wineries and the that's Ronald Reagan country. Yeah, so that's why he tries to. He acts like he can't read because he's dyslexic. I guess that's his protected class of citizen there. This is who they have. Very slim pickings from the Democratic Party. Very slim pickings. But that is by far their best choice. And I think J.D. Vance, I think the Trump administration is doing a wonderful job. They're doing a great job. We are not seeing massive hate for Donald Trump. Gas prices go up, your popularity goes down. Period, full stop, end of discussion. Whether it's your fault, somebody else's fault, it does not matter. People are not happy when gas prices are high. People are not happy when any prices are high. People are happy when their wages are up and their money's low. When their wages are up and their expenses are lower. That's when they're happy. That's why I've sat here for 110 days and screamed, Iran needs to be solved before the midterms. Because if it's not solved before the midterms, we're going to have major problems during the midterms. The midterms are not looking good. It's just how it is. We're going to continue to follow it, but ending the war in Iran, I did the whole show on it last night. The war in Iran is not officially over and signed, right? It's a preliminary agreement for a 60-day notice to discuss the war in Iran, to discuss the resolution of the war in Iran. But the biggest part that Donald Trump got is that he got Iran to say, we will not have nuclear weapons. Period. We are not going to have nuclear weapons. We're not going to permit you to have nuclear weapons. And Iran said, we agree, which is what Donald Trump went there for. Israel wasn't even involved in the discussion. And they're pissed about it. Rightfully so. But Donald Trump does not care about Israel's opinion. He doesn't care how Benjamin Netanyahu feels. He cares about what is good for the American people. He cares about what is in the interest of the American people. They were developing nukes. Iran having nukes is not part of the agreement for the American people. We don't want them to have that. It's not great. We're going to go in there. We're going to end the nuclear program. We're going to end the nuclear program. We're going to end the nuclear program. That's his mission. Nuclear program's ended. Okay, we're done. We got a deal. We're out. Netanyahu, that's not far enough. We need to make sure they don't produce anymore. We need to make sure we have any safeguards. They're not involved in the agreement, that they're not upheld to the agreement, which means they can bomb anything they want, which we saw them do with Hezbollah. The best part about the agreement with Iran is that the Iranian do not get money, right? So they have the opportunity to get money for rebuilding. There's a rumor going around that there's $300 billion. Marjorie Taylor Greene came out yesterday and said, and read from her phone, from her little Reddit Republican page, oh, $300 billion we're getting. $300 billion we're giving to Iran. Not true. The Gulf Coalition is going to give Iran $300 billion as long as they comply. And the Gulf Coalition is the Middle Eastern states. It's not us. If they prove they don't have nuclear weapons, here's $1 billion. Oh, in 6 months, as long as you're still not producing, here's $500 million. Oh, in a year, if you keep the Straits of Hormuz open for a year, we'll give you $50 billion. So it's a meritorious program. It's a meritorious program. It's earned. The money is earned. Not like Barack Obama, who just gave them pallets of money. He gave them pallets of money, and then this money was used to fund. The money went to the Iranian government, no question about it. I'm not saying, because I said this last night, I'm not saying Barack Obama gave money to terrorist organizations, but he gave money to the government of Iran, who then built this infrastructure of proxy rebels, the Houthis, Hamas, all of them, which created the October 7th massacre, which created this war, or this military conflict, I should say. They absolutely, yeah, you're right, Cole. They absolutely used it for terror groups. Iran is the last problem in the Middle East. We've handled everything else. This is it. To have peace in the Middle East was like something a supermodel would say at one of those friggin' beauty competitions. And what is your wish for the world? I wish to have peace in the Middle East. That's what everybody wants. Donald Trump is on the track to do it. He's on the track to do it. Who else is a problem in the Middle East? Saudi Arabia only cares about making money, dude. Iraq is so obliterated, it's never going to rebuild itself completely. Trust me, I know. Infantry Marine, 2005 to 2010. Afghanistan is just hill people. They're mountain. They're Islamic mountain men. And Iran, they're really Persian. They're not really some Islamic fundamentalist group. Turkey is more involved with the Middle East. The Abraham Accords were huge with Donald Trump. Huge. 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 Guys, don't forget you can call into the show at 561-786-2916. But the notion that that the world is not a better place with this situation is ridiculous. Israel still controls the region. Saudi Arabia wants nothing to do with war. Qatar, all these places are getting rich and rich and rich off of oil. And who's using all the oil? The United States. So what we want to do is have peace and get the oil. And what they want is to keep selling us oil. They want us driving SUVs and dually pickup trucks. They want us consuming as much oil as humanly possible. They don't care about Iran and its religious fundamentals. They're driving friggin' Lamborghinis. Guys, you can tune into this show every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. So the reason I'm on at 9 p.m. is because the Dumb Show is on from 7 to 9 p.m. That's what Matt and I had talked about a while ago. I took a little bit of sabbatical, but I am completely back now. So Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. I usually stay on until 10, sometimes a little bit later, and then we go from there. Shelly said, yeah, I'm kind of done with Iran. I remember when the Shah was overthrown. I was in college. A lot of the household ended up at my university. Iranian doctors took positions as nurses in the U.S. Yeah. If you ever meet like Iranian people that are immigrants, they're awesome people. Patrick Bet-David is Iranian. He immigrated here when he was a little kid. He immigrated here as a little kid. So, but Monday through Friday, 9 p.m., we will be back on tomorrow night. Thank you all for tuning in, all of the new people. You're wonderful. I love you. I thank you for being here. My family thanks you for being here. You can visit ryanfsamuels.com. Check out the website. You could go on to the podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify. I am on Rumble, YouTube. TV Green said, if you want to raid into the next show, just copy and paste this. But yeah, we're dealing with a lot right now. So I don't know what's going on. I noticed some things that were happening with my show. I have 115,000 followers on Facebook. 115,000 people, right? Is that a lot in this world that I live in? Not really. Hey, Paul. Yeah, suit and tie, man. Trying to change it up. But the I post a reel, right, which is a video on Facebook, gets 500-600 views, right? Never really used Instagram or Threads. I posted the identical exact video on Threads where I have 65 followers and I get 10,000 views. Something's not adding up here. If I have 115,000 people that follow me at 10%, or just 1%, it's a mathematical improbability that not that many people who chose to click on my page and to follow it are not seeing it. Right? You follow a page on Facebook because you want to see what they're posting. That's the whole thing of following it. That's the whole point. So if I'm getting 10,000 views with 65 followers, I should be at over 1 million views on my Facebook photos. I mean, my Facebook reels. So I don't know what's going on with Facebook. I'm trying to figure it out. I can't figure it out. Then I saw the Don't Unfriend Me show was blocked today. I actually texted my wife about it before I even got a chance to talk to Matt, and he called in, and I'm so grateful for him. Always have been, and for you guys for coming here. But there's something going on in Facebook, and I'm trying to figure out what it is and how to fix it. But I mean, and then it's hard to grow on Rumble because it's just so saturated with everybody. But I'm here every night. I don't care. Been doing it since the day Joe Biden did the vaccine mandate is the day I went out and bought a camera. My first video got 10,000 views on YouTube. But you can download the podcast on Apple, Spotify. If you get a chance to go on Apple, all right, a few years ago, I had a bunch of friggin' lefties go and raid my Apple podcast and give me a bunch of 1-star reviews. One of them said that he did a little research and that I never served in the military. It's ridiculous. I was an infantry Marine, 2005, 2010. I was a Marine Corps Security Force Battalion, Kings Bay, Georgia, and 3rd Battalion, 2nd Marines. But they'll do anything to try to destroy you and drop you and ruin your business. TV Green says, I'm only here to help you grow and show the tools to utilize it. Rating as 1. I love it, man. I mean, tonight's definitely a big difference. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your support and what you're doing. Follow the Rumble page. And, yeah, let's continue to do this. I'm going to call Matt tomorrow, and we're going to correlate to see if we can kind of break this shadow ban. Because so let me tell you a story. When Matt and I first met, I think I had 50,000 followers, and he had 110,000 followers, right? And on his Facebook page, he would go live. I've been on the show 100 times. He's been on my show. We've kind of been collaborating for years. And when he was around 150,000 followers, he'd get about 80 live viewers on Facebook. It was like routine. It was like 80 people. 80 people were watching. 80 people were watching. He's gone from 150,000 followers to 414,000 followers. Do you know how many people are watching on Facebook every night? 80 people. So you almost triple your follower base from 115,000 followers to 414. You more than triple, right? Or you triple from 150, whatever. 3 times, 3.5 times, and your live viewership stays the same. It makes no mistake. Hey, JD, buddy. I haven't seen you in a while either, man. I've been missing you on Facebook. Came to Rumble because Matt was down and found you here. Yeah, man, I'm here. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody coming out. I'm going to focus on growing the Rumble. It's just something that has to be done. It's just something that has to be done. But guys, I am going to log off for the evening. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. I almost don't want to because there's people on here and it feels bad to do, but I have to do it. I got to get back to my lovely wife who's waiting for me in bed. But yeah, Rumble's where it's at. I know that. It's just really hard to grow because it's very saturated. But I'm going to collaborate with Matt. We're going to put our brains together, and we're going to figure it out. JD, every night, 9 p.m., Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Shelly, I'm sorry to hear about your husband. Yeah, Agent Orange was no joke, so. But thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate every last one of you, and I will see you guys tomorrow night, hopefully.
Hey, Ryan. Hi, this is Sarah Palin.
Ryan, Donald Trump Jr. Harsh to win, see you. Hey, everybody, I want y'all to check out a fellow Marines podcast.
My name is Ted Nugent, and I got a call from my buddy Ryan F. Samuels, and he wants me to tell you that he's a working hard, playing all-American son of a who is celebrating God, family, country.
Welcome to the Ryan Samuels Show, one of the top political podcasts in the United States, where we have a healthy distrust for government and mainstream media. The Ryan Samuels Show is a raw, unfiltered look at American politics. Follow on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, and all podcast platforms. Here is your host, Ryan Samuels.
Hey, Ryan. Hi, this is Sarah Palin.
The best thing in life that you can do, always,
Thanks for
is
tuning
to
in
be
to the Ryan
prepared.
Samuels Show.
Be prepared
Don't
for
forget
anything
to
with
like,
My Patriot
share, and
Supply,
subscribe.
the leading provider of high-quality, long-shelf life emergency food kits.